Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Well, looks like winter has descended upon a good portion of the United States, including here. Although so far, knock on wood, it's not been too terrible. We've had some freezing rain come in early this morning and actually just stopped a little bit ago. And another round going to be hitting here shortly. It's freezing on trees and stuff, but right now the road surfaces are good, and it's not freezing on trees heavily, so it's a lot of it's still melting and running off because we're hovering right at that temperature. And looking at the weather, the temperature is supposed to drop a little today, but that'll be about the time that the rain might be over, so it'll be iffy on whether or not we get enough to cause road surfaces to get really bad, tree limbs to come down, power lines to come down, that sort of thing. So we're still on emergency standby in our area, just in case those things happen, in case we need to respond. But we've prepared as a family and as a community as much as we possibly can with the resources we have. So I think that we'll do good, and I hope that those of you that are enduring worse conditions, because there are many places worse, further north you go, the worse it gets. Hopefully that you are prepared and doing all right there. So apparently, Joe, I've been busy the last 2 days. A lot of it getting ready for this. That's part of, and it's not just that, my home, my family, our little kind of preparedness community, but the greater community around here. My responsibility, part of my responsibility for the community around here is that I'm the guy in charge of disasters and preparing for those through the fire department, working with emergency management and stuff. So I've been busy the last couple of days getting ready for this stuff. Haven't really spent almost any time seeing what's going on, just a little. But I did see that that Joe Biden issued some medals of freedom to some of the most outstanding dignitaries in American history. Hillary Clinton, George Soros, just a few names that received these high honors. A few others, it's not that surprising. He's about ready to be out, so gotta pay homage to all the demons that helped him along the way. But I do think that it just shows that it's all just a big club, okay? It's just a big club, and you ain't in it. On the flip side, the other side of the aisle, I guess you could say, Elon Musk has been taking some heat because apparently he has or is changing things around on Twitter or X, and people are saying it's gonna be not as free speech. And I've been seeing signs of that. People that criticize him here lately or him or the Trump administration or anything like that have been censored in some different ways. So once again, it's a big club, folks. Also, apparently the X platform has started a type of social credit score system. So it rates your profile on how well it conforms to the standards of the community and stuff. So it's interesting that the things that we have talked about for the last few years, digital currencies, social credit scores, Big Brother, monitoring you, immigration, all of these things that have been, very typically on the left side, and the conservative right side has been opposed to it. Now it's kind of getting rebranded. Not everything, but several things are kind of being rebranded. A new package, all dolled up, and it's being sold to the conservatives. And by and large part, a lot of them are accepting it. And I've warned of this, and so have many others, that this is most likely what's going to happen. Why? Because it's a big club and you ain't in it. This is why we have to stop putting our faith, our trust, our hope in any kind of leader. I don't care how good they are. I don't don't care how great they seem on the surface. It is absolutely foolish to trust, to hope, to believe that any of these people are going to fix things, are going to make it better for us. You can go back decades, many decades, through various different presidencies, left and right, and you'll see that government always grew. Debt always increased. The amount of freedom that we as individuals had always decreased through every one of those administrations. And I know that many are worse than others. And I know you're going to sit here and say, well, would you rather had Kamala Harris as president? Not necessarily. Although at least if she was president, we would know that things would kind of fall off the cliff a little bit faster. And sometimes ripping that Band-Aid off faster isn't too bad of a deal either. But no, of course she wouldn't be better. I'm not a fool. But I think it's also foolish to believe that things are just going to remarkably and miraculously become better just because a different person is in office. What we have to do is what I've been saying for a long time. So we have to stop putting our trust in these people and take that responsibility for our lives back into our own hands. If you don't know someone personally, if you don't know them well enough to truly trust them, to believe that things would be okay with them, that, I always use the example personally of, would I trust them taking care of my children or hanging out alone with my wife? If I can say yes to those, then I definitely trust that person. If I'm hesitant, then it's a little iffy. Those are the kind of people that we need to work with closely and directly. Our spouses, our families, and the close people around us. Beyond that, they're acquaintances that you can only have a certain level of trust with. That's just it. That's my rule. It's like layers. And I have people all the time because of the work that I do, those people, they're part of your circle, they're part of your tribe, they're part of your community. There's different layers to that, folks. And not too many people get on that inner circle kind of thing. It's just, and I think that's the safe way to be for all of us. As we continue going down this path, there's going to be more and more, people compromise. I've talked of this in the spiritual sense, that this is becoming a bigger problem of more and more believers compromising. Look at the modern churches today in America. They're nothing but a big compromise. There's no longer any holiness or righteousness in them. They've compromised it all out the door. And people are doing the same thing, individuals. They're accepting more and more. Well, it makes sense. I know. 6 months ago I disagreed with that and was against it, but I'm convinced now that that's probably for the better. Maybe, probably not though. We have to surround ourselves with people that we truly can trust, and then we work with them. People outside of that wall doesn't mean we don't work with them, just means that we're very cautious with them, that we only allow so much in, right? We only allow them to get so close. And I think that we have to keep doing that and putting more and more focus on that, because as all of this transpires, as it gets worse, as people get to the point that they will stab you in the back more because of the lack of morality or because of the pressure on them to conform to things, we have to be more and more cautious. The brother will turn against brother, son against father, daughter against mother. This kind of stuff is happening, and it's going to get worse, and we have to prepare for that, not just in the sense of the stuff that you're stockpiling or whatever, but in the relationships that you build and how you interact with people and who you allow into your inner circle. It's okay to have people in your inner circle. You just have to be careful, because in my experience, the amount of people that you can truly trust, like really, really trust to be on the inner circle, is usually a very, very tiny number. And so we need to be cautious and keep moving ourselves forward, in the sense that we're, preparing, that we're becoming more independent, that we're less dependent upon this failing system, and building relationships with the people around us. But we also have to be cautious. We have to be cautious of who we can trust. People will tell you things. I could sit here for hours and tell you stories of the amount of people that, come through the doors of our meetings or whatever, and they, oh, I know all this kind of stuff. I can do all this kind of stuff. I'm an expert in this. I can do this, I can do that, and then nothing happens, or it's all a lie, or it's all a gross exaggeration. It's because people want to belong to something. People they see the world failing, and they want to attach themselves to something that looks successful, that looks survivable. And so you have to be guarded against that. Pray for discernment. And for those people that you have around you that are your inner circle, that you do trust, lean on them, bounce ideas off of them. Because the others, there's a lot of takers out there, and you got to be careful for that. Now, I don't want to sound all pessimistic, but it's just the truth. It's just how it is. Just because someone walks in claiming that they're super conservative, super religious, super this, all... I mean, people get elected into office that do that, and then you find out they're a turncoat. And I'm not pointing any fingers, so don't assume who I'm talking about. Just keep getting yourselves prepared and ready, because this world is just becoming worse and worse. It's time to get your houses in order and prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.